Hello everyone, welcome back to your session on memory management. So in the previous session we discussed about something called as what we call the paging related information. So we have seen the memory management technique where we discussed about some two different type of techniques using which we can manage our memory. That is nothing but your segmentation and paging. So I think it's very clear with these concepts related to segmentation and paging. So these are the two we have discussed. And if it is very clear, I think it is very clear now what is the difference we do have. Segmentation is used to make sure that whatever the memory we are allocating to the within the physical memory, okay, whatever the memory, physical memory we are allocating to the process, that is non-continuous. As you have referred the video, you might have come across that it is non-continuous in nature. Means whatever the memory we are allocating in physically, that should be non-continuous we are providing. Now coming to the paging, what we said, it also supports this particular technique. Apart from that, it tries to overcome the problem that we have discussed. That is nothing but your external fragmentation. Okay. So paging tries to overcome the problem that is associated with your external fragmentation, and at the same time, since external fragmentation doesn't exist, so we don't have to use the compaction technique. But internal fragmentation does exist. This we can eliminate. Okay, that external fragmentation does exist. It cannot be eliminated, and that has been explained with the help of a small example in the previous session of your paging technique. So if possible, you can please refer to that particular video so that you can understand paging concept properly. Well, in this particular session, so since we have completed the first introduction to memory management we have completed, followed it with that we have also discussed about the swapping concepts and then continuous memory allocation. So in the previous session we discussed about the segmentation and paging. Now the only thing that is left for your first part is nothing but your structure of page tables. So in this session we are going to discuss about the three different type of tables what we do have. Something called as hierarchical paging, hash page table and inverted. So in segmentation and paging, we are using a table, page table, isn't it? So here we have some values here, indexing value. These are the page numbers, what we are getting it from the CPU generated logical address. So these page numbers will consist of the frame number of the physical address, isn't it? 4, 3, something like that. So that has been getting mapped here. Okay. Now this particular page table, as we are talking about here, these are a varieties. We do have different type of page tables here. So those are what we are going to discuss in the today's scenario. And why these page tables we are different page tables we do have, because there are many pages. So since the way we have shown in the videos related that we are showing only very few number of entries in the table. But in reality, in real time, the operating system consists of some millions of entries. Some millions of entries in this table, not just 4, 5, what we have shown in videos. Okay, so since millions of entries have to be taken care by the operating system, and it definitely if there are millions of entries here, the size of that particular table also gets increased. Okay, it is going to occupy some space. So since it is occupying space in the memory, so definitely that is also present in the memory itself. So it becomes very difficult to manage everything. So in order to overcome that, we use this kind of structuring so that we can reduce the number of entries in this particular page table. For that, we have these type of paging tables. So first one is hierarchical paging, hashed and inverted. Now this is like, improvement over other. Like hierarchical paging might be having some drawback. To overcome that, a hash page table, and inverted page table is much more better when compared to your hierarchical hash page table. So without wasting time, let's dwell into this particular topic. The first and the very foremost what we have is the introduction part related to your page tables. Okay, now here this is related to your hierarchical page tabling. So, but before discussing about the hierarchical page table, we need to have some idea. Like I told you that there are millions of entries are there. That simply saying will not be providing you practical experience. I will show you, I will explain this with the help of a small example so that it becomes clear for people where we are going to store that information, how that million entries are coming up. Now let us take a small example here. We are taking a 32. So the logical address space, we have something called as 32-bit. Okay. So means how many entries we can provide is nothing but 2 to the power 32 entries we can provide in that particular logical address space. Now assuming that the page size, let us suppose every page, I think you people are very clear now, where is page CPU generates logical address, that we are storing it here. So we have a page, Okay, so it will generate, sorry, not like this. Let me draw the diagram so that you can remember. So what did we discuss? CPU is going to generate a logical address, and that logical address we are splitting into two, something called as page number and displacement, right? Now this place number will act as the index for this particular page table, and this will consist of a frame, and that frame we are mapping with the displacement, and then we are getting the physical memory. So this is your logical address and this is your physical address where we need to store that information, isn't it? Now here in this thing, same thing, we are trying to find this value now with the help of this. So here the logical address what we have been provided here is 32 bit. So how many entries we can have is 2 to the power 32. Now each page whatever we have here, what is the size of the page he is giving is 4 KB. Well, we need to convert this into bytes first. So we know that 1 KB is equal to 1024 bytes. So how many he is saying here? 4 KB. So that means it's nothing but 4416904 4096, right? So we said that whenever this page size and logical address space is given, we need to convert that into a power of 2. So logical address we have converted and we got 2 to the power 32. And what about this 4096? So this will be power of 2 is nothing but 2 to the power 12 is equal to 4096. Means how many bytes? 2 to the power 12 bytes. Okay, so we have converted the page size. What we got is 2 to the power 12 bytes, and the logical address space is 32. So that we converted into 2 to the power 32 entries. Now I think you people might have got this value. How we can calculate this P and D? This P, page number and displacement. We discussed that if we have a logical address of 2 to the power m and a page size of 2 to the power n. So n refers logical address space, n refers page size. So what is the value of m we are going to get here from this? This is the m. M is equal to how much? 32. N is equal to how much we have here? 12. So how you can get the page number? The higher order m minus n. That is nothing but 32 minus 20. How much we are going to get? 32 out of 12. So it's 0, 2. So the page number is 20. What about the displacement? The lowest order n bits. That is nothing but 12. So this is the way you people can get the values. Okay. Now I just want to know within this particular page table, how many entries are going to get if we are using a 32-bit logical address and a page size of 4 KB. Well, it's very simple. Since we got it in a power of 2, simply you have to do 2 to the power of 32 by 2 to the power of 4. So this will be something, I think if people know, have some idea related to your algorithms, we have something like a to the power m by a to the power n. We have a formula like a to the power m minus n. Okay, this should be same. So here what we can write here, 2 to the power 32 minus 12. So you will be getting something called as 20. Okay, so 2 to the power 20. So that is almost what we can say is nothing but 1 million entries. See, this particular page table will consist of 1 million entries based upon the data provided. Like if we are using a 32-bit logical address and the page size we are using is 4 KB, 1 million entries will be saved. Now you can understand that how complex this particular table will be, isn't it? So it's very, so since it is very 1 million entries are there, definitely we are storing in the main memory. So definitely the memory consumption will be more. That is what is saying in this particular scenario. Okay, so if we take that the total entry. Okay, if we are taking total, if each entry is 4 bytes, means here 1 million entries we are having, each entry is of 4 bytes means one process will be requiring almost 4 MB of space. Okay, so one process will require almost approximately 4 MB of space if we are making sure that every entry, we have 1 million entries, among them each entry is actually taking 4 bytes of memory. So this is the way how we can calculate and we can try to find out how many tables. So first we should know the values. If we know this, then only we can do that. Okay. So, and moreover, we are not allocating the memory continuously here. That is the best part of this particular structuring table. So basically we have three different type of structuring tables. Okay, so let's see. Mostly first one is something called as hierarchical structuring table. So if you talk about hierarchical structuring table, hierarchical means it is nothing but a tree kind of structuring table here. So here we will be, what we are going to do is the logical address, whatever we have, that we are going to split it into multiple pages, page tables. Okay. So like we have a single page table in every entry. Like in the previous sessions, you might have seen the diagrams where we are representing a single page table. From the P we are getting index we are doing. Now this particular page table, we will split it up because the page size might be more. Like in the previous example, we got a value, something called as 30, 12, isn't it? 30 minus 12, I mean 20, 12. Well, this page number 20 is okay. It's a very small number. But what if you are getting something like 50s or 60s, something like that? It's very typical, isn't it? The page number means that many entries are there. So to overcome that, to reduce the size, we are going to use this hierarchical page table concept. So here we will be applying something called as two-level page table. Okay, and this is the diagram related to it. So what we are going to do is, this is the page table. We will split that page table into two. As there are so many entries are there within the page table, we will be splitting that entry into two levels. Okay, so within one particular page, we will index another table. Okay, so within one particular page table, we will be indexing another. This will contain the actual data. For example, let us suppose this is the page table. See, actually this is the original page table. Okay, this one is the original page table, and it consists of so many entries. Now we will split those entries into separate blocks, like 1 to 500, 100 to 700, like in that way we are splitting it up. Now what we are doing is that information means this particular page information will be stored in this particular column. So this is your outer page table. This is your actual page table. Now within this, whatever the tables we have, this table will consist of entries, and that entry will refer to the frame number, frame F. But this table, the outer page table, will not contain the frame number. It will consist of a page number which will refer to the inner page table. This is your inner page table. Page table. And this is your outer page table. Now this outer page table will not consist of a value which will refer to the frame numbers of your physical memory. No, it will consist of the information of the page number that will be mapping to the inner page table. We have one more page table. This is what we call it as two level. Now how we can do that, I will explain it. Like in the previous slide I have taken the example, same way we'll take one more example here. Let us suppose we have taken a 32-bit logical address space. Okay, fine. So how we can represent 2 to the power 32 entries will be there. Now initially I have taken 4 KB. Here we are taking example of 1 KB. So 1 KB is nothing but 1024, I think, if I am not wrong. So this is approximately power of 2 is nothing but 2 to the power 10. Okay, so we are doing 2 to the power 10 here. Now, based on this, we want to get the page number and the displacement. Is it possible now? Yes, it's possible. This is the value of m. This is the value of n. So m minus 1. So 32 minus 10. How much you are going to get? 2. So 3 minus 1 is 22. So here first 22. I am talking about a single page table right now. So we have 22 here. What about the displacement? Displacement is nothing but dn. So this is something 10. This is first page table. Okay. Now apart from this particular page table, we will be again splitting. Since we are using a two-level page table here, we will be splitting it into again two, another level. This is level 1. So two level we are using level. So level 2. In level 2, what we will do is, whatever the page number we have here, this we are going to again split it up. Like page number displacement. Now here, whenever you're going for the next level, it has a standard size of 10. So here the displacement will be 10. What about this one? So it is simply 22 minus 10 you people have to do, that is 12. So 12, 10, 10. Okay, so this is what been represented in this. This is actual, this is a two level. Initially, the previous diagrams, whatever you have seen, we have a single table. And based on that, the logical address, CPU generates a logical address which consists of P and D, page number displacement. But since the people are using two level here, this particular page will be splitted up into another one more level. So here we have P1 and P2 and then the displacement. So this is your P1 12, 10 and this 10 will come up here. Now here this page refers to, this is what will be present here 12. From here it will be going to that page. That page will refer to another number called as 10. So here it will consist, it will find for 10 here. That will consist of the value that is a 12, and from there the mapping actually takes place. This is the whole way this actual scenario works. I hope it's very clear now. Okay, I will explain this with one more example so that it will become much more easier for you people to understand. Till here, I think it's very clear now. So we are using a 12-bit page number 10. So that is nothing but this one, the first one, what I said. So here you got 12 because it is a 22-bit, right? So 2 to the power 32. So 32 minus how much we got for 1 KB, we have to convert into bytes. So byte is nothing but 1 KB is equal to 1024 bytes. So that is approximately 2 to the power 10. So 32 minus 10, how much you are getting? 3 minus 1 to 2. So here we got 22 and here we got how much? 10. This is the displacement page number, normal way of mapping. Now we are using two level here. We will be splitting this page number again into one more side, and then what we are going, so whenever you are splitting for the next time, the standard page displacement what we can get here is 10. It is a standard one. Okay, by default it is provided. So 22 minus 10 is 12. So this is your page number. This is the displacement for the second level hierarchy. Okay. For the first level hierarchy, 22 is the page number and this is the displacement. So totally how we can write this is nothing but P1, P2 and then displacement. So what is the page number we have here? The first page number what we have here is 12. And means that 12 is, that is the address, this will locate here. So here wherever 12 is there, that will be having this value, that is another value. What is that? 10. So it will refer 10 here. So 10 will consist of the value something called as 10. What is the value last displacement we have? 10. So that will be mapped to that particular location. This is the way it exactly works. Now since P1 is the index, so P1 is the index. This is the index for the outer page table. As I told you, this will consist of 12 and this will consist of 10 and 10. So here this 12 is nothing but index. It is a page index for your outer page table, and P2 is the index for your next one. Okay, this is the displacement. If we separate it, so it is displacement for the inner page table. That is nothing but here. Okay, and since it is going in a forward direction, not in a backward direction, you can see here forward direction. So here, so we call that as a forward map paging table. Forward map page table. Okay, so I will. So this is the diagram related to your logical address P1, P2. Like what did we got here? We got something called as 12. This is your 10, and this is your 10. So this refers to the outer page table. What we have seen in the previous. So here P1 is acting as a index. So wherever 12 is there, that will be located, and here whatever the value we have. So what is the value we have here? 10, 10. So 10. This will again refers to a page number. So here it will refer to the inner page table. Okay, so this is the inner page table that will be referring. So here wherever 10 is there, that will consist of the original value 10 and that will be mapped to that is the displacement. So that 10 is nothing but here. This 10 will be present here. The second 10, this one is present here. This will be mapping here. So here we'll find the displacement. What is the displacement we have here? 10. So wherever the 10 is there, this will consist of the frame number, and that frame number we will add it to the displacement. Whatever the displacement we got, what is the displacement? 10 plus whatever the frame number we are getting. So whatever the value we get here, that is will be mapped to your physical memory. I hope it's very clear. I'll explain it one more time. Somewhat might be confusing. So P1 refers to a page number for your outer page table. So here wherever the P1 is their index, we will go. And here it will consist of these values, something called as 10. P2 value. So wherever this P2 is there, it will try to find out where exactly this P2 is. This is the inner page table. Okay. Now here, wherever the 10 value is there, here it is. So this will consist of a value something called as 10, because we got here something called as 12, 10 and 10. So here this is what we are having 10. Now this will be transmitted. Now here that 10 will be acting as a page number, and this will consist of information about the frame. Now this frame and the displacement what we got, this one we will map here. Frame plus 10, you will get the physical address location, and there we can store our information either in a format of segments or other kinds. Okay. Okay, so well, okay, I'll explain with one more example and then We'll stop this so that it becomes easy for you to understand. Okay, let us take same like the previous one. We are using a 32-bit logical address. I'm using a 32-bit logical address. So how many entries we can have? 2 to the power 32. I'm taking again a page size of 4 KB only. So that I think you understood now how much it is 2 to the power 12 bytes. Isn't it? 2 to the power 12 bytes. Now first page table. Let us draw me the first page table. So that is nothing but P and D. First level. First level I am trying to draw. That is outer page table. So outer page table, how we can get is page number m minus n. P is equal to m minus n. What about D? N. So m minus n is, this is your m and this is your n. So 32 minus 12. How much you are going to get? 20. So this will come here, 20. Okay. And what about n? N is equal to how much? 12. So this will come here, 12. This is the first level. You got it? Okay. Now this is your P2. Okay. Now I will convert this again into a different one. We will go for the next level. That is your second level. We are applying two level hierarchy. So second level I am going to apply here. So when you are applying the second level here, what will happen? We need to split this particular page 20. And what I said, when we will go for the second level, the standard is 10. So we will be splitting this into two parts. This is at 10 and 10 because we are getting a standard displacement as 10. What 20 minus 10 is 10. So what we are placing it. So finally, how you can write it? If I want to write in a single table, so this is your P1, P2 displacement. So P1 refers to here something called as 10, P2 is 10, and finally the displacement 12. Okay, see 10, 10, 12, you people have got it, isn't it? Let me show you here. So here what we got here in the diagram, 10, 10, 12 now. So this 10 refers to the outer page table. Like outer page table is nothing but this one. This is your outer page. This is your outer page table. This is your inner page table. Two level. Okay. See, now here outer page table is referred by P1. So 10. So here it will be 10. It will try to find the value stored in this table. So what is the next value we have? 10. That will be here. Now from here that will be searched. This value 10 will be searched in this particular table where it is located here. And this will consist of a displacement called 12. From the displacement we will try to get the frame number. Frame is nothing but your physical memory. Will have frames. Logical memory will have pages. From that, we'll get the frame number. This frame number we will add to the displacement. What is the displacement we have? 12. So F plus 12, and that will give you the physical address where we need to store that particular segment. This is the whole, this is the way actually we can perform this hierarchical page table. Now in case, now this is a 32-bit, okay, it's working fine. But if we go for higher one like 64-bit, then two level paging is not possible to apply. Okay, why? I will show you that I will show you with the help of a small example so that you can understand. Let us suppose in place of 32, I am taking 64. 64-bit logical address. So then what happens here? This will become something called as 64, isn't it? So this will become 2 to the power 64. This is your m now. Then what about n here? So n I am taking, okay, let us take how much we have. Okay, we have taken the same size, 12. So 12 means this becomes your n. Now 64, I am going to do the first level. So that is C and D. So what is the displacement I am going to get? So 64 minus 12, how much we are going to get? 2, 5. So this is your 52 and this is your 12, isn't it? Now this is your first level. If you see here, the first level, we are having a page number of 52, means 2 to the power 52 entries we can add. That's very big in size. Now we will try to reduce this. How can we reduce? We will go for second level. Second level is nothing but P1, P2, then displacement. Well, displacement will be same 12 here. What about P1 and P2? So we need to split it up. And I told you that by default, the standard will be 10. So 54 minus 10, how much we are getting? 24. Now, if you are applying only two levels, this is your first level, this is your second level. But if you observe here, how much we have here? 42. 42 is very large in size, isn't it? So what happens here is, in this case, we will again split this into second level. Means first level, second level, another level, one more level we are going to add. So we'll add the second outer table. Already in this particular level, we have outer level, outer page table and inner page table. Now we will be having second outer page table. This will be mapping to this and this will map to this and this will be mapping to your physical address, whatever we are having. So what we are going to do, we will split this again into third level. So what will happen? How many we are going to get here? So 3 columns will get 4 columns. So this will become your P1, this will become your P2, P3 displacement. The displacement will be by default 12. What about P3? Now this P2 becomes P3 here, 10, and this P2 will be, we are splitting now 42. So by default, whenever you are splitting into the next levels, default standard is 10. So P2 is 10. So 42 minus 10, how much you're getting? 32. This is the way how we actually do for hierarchy. This is what we call hierarchy now. Okay. Now, if you observe here carefully, even 32 is much more bigger. So what we can do, we can apply fourth level. Okay. So how can we apply fourth level here? Same process. So we'll have P1, P2, P3, P4, and then displacement. So this is your 12, 10, 10. Now this 32 will be split up, so it will be 10. So here we will be getting something called 22. So this is the way how we can apply. So how many tables we are going to get? Three tables. So this is this, then this is your original table, and this is your mapping address. So this is your this table. This number refers, and this number refers to this. This refers to this one, and this refers to this. And finally, whatever we are getting here, we'll get the displacement D that refers to this particular table. From here, we'll get the frame. This frame we will be adding with this displacement 12, and finally, you are going to get the output. This is the way it actually works. Okay, I hope it's very clear for you people. This is the way how it exactly your hierarchical page table works. Only understanding is sufficient. We are not going to do any kind of problems in this. So here this the same thing is explaining here, like 40 to 10, 12, you people got it, like I have shown in the previous diagram. Now what he did is he split it up into 10. Okay, so 40 to 10, 12, he is again splitting it up, and then what happened, we are whenever we are splitting it up into the next level, so standard default is 10. So we got one more 10 here, 3. So he has converted till here. I have shown you after this another level also. Okay, I have shown you the next level also, where we got here something called as 22, 10, 10, 10, 12. So this is the way. So we have second outer page table, inner. So if we are splitting this, how we are going to get the table? So we'll get 22, 10, 10, 10, 12. So this becomes your third outer page table, second outer page table, outer page. This is your inner page, and finally this becomes your offset. This is the way how your hierarchical page table takes place. Remember, two-level hierarchy we cannot apply for 64-bit. Sometimes for 32-bit also we can't do that. That depends upon your system, whatever you are using. So it will be using these kind of strategies to do that. So this is all about related to your hierarchical page table. The next one is hash page table. This is okay. We will spend some time here. It's very easy. Hash page tables, what is the main purpose here is it can handle, okay, larger than 32 bits. If we are having entry with greater than 32 bits, then we can use this hashed page table. So here what we are going to do is we will be having a hash value. Within the table, we will be using one function, hash function. This function will actually consist of one value called as hash value that will be generated by this particular hash function. And based upon this value, we will be adding that information, means whatever the page number we are generating. Okay, let me draw the diagram and show you. Like CPU generates page number and displacement, right? Now, we will not directly map this page number to this particular table, page table. This is a hashed page table. So we will not directly map this page number to this table. Rather, we'll have a function here. Now this page number will be transmitted to this function. He will generate a hash value. He will generate a hash value. And that value where it is located, that will act as an index. And there we will store the information related to the frame. From here we'll get the value. So here we are getting the frame. that will add it to the displacement, and that will represent the physical address. This is the way how this particular hash page table works. So basically, this hash page table, what we are talking, I am talking about here, not normal page table, hash page table. Now this hash page table, wherever we are storing the entry, we are storing that element, now that element will actually consist of three different parts. Okay, every entry in this particular hash table will have three entries. First one refers to the page number. That is referred, means whatever the value we got from this particular hash function, the hash value, that is what referred as page number. The second one will consist of the information related to the frame. Okay, the second one consists of the data, means whichever we need to map. That frame number will be present in your second one. What about the third one? Here is nothing but this is a pointer. Actually, we are using a linked list concept here. All the information, all the frame information, we will be linking with one another in this particular table. And the last one, whatever we have, this is a pointer which refers to the next one. We are using a linked list concept here. So linked list concept, I think you people are familiar with. So we'll be having an actual value and then a pointer. This pointer will refer to the next. It will have the address of next element. So here, like for example, we have 10 here. So here we have a value 20, and this will refer to the next address. Maybe something, this is your 100. Okay, let me show you here. Linked list, I think you people are very much familiar, right? So how we will have your linked list, like, I think this is the way how we have, right? Linked list. Let us suppose the address of this is 100, 200, 300, 400. So here if we have a value 20, this is a frame value, let us assume. Here what it will consist of? 200. Means it will refer to this particular thing. Now this will consist of 10. This is a frame number and this will be referring to this address. This is a pointer to the next address, 300. Same way this will consist of 400. What about the last one? If we don't have any other elements more, this will be a null pointer now. So here we have some value 5 or 7 or something like that. And this is what linked list. So here in the hash table, all the elements will be stored in this manner. Okay, so whenever you want to search for it, we need to search in this manner. So from first element, okay, which page number? So here in this particular hash table, we have one more entry here. So we have three entries here. So this will contain 20. This is your page number 1, 200. Same way here, it will be having one more entry. So this will have page number 5. Okay, so this is referring to it because this is 200. So here we have 10, 30, sorry, 300. So we have here again three elements. Okay, so first element always refers to page number, and this will consist of a frame number, whatever we have, and this will refer to the next one. This is a pointer which refers to the next address if we have. So here also we have something 20, here at the 7, and we don't have like this. So this is a 300, 400. So this is the way how your table, this hash table works. Now this value 1, 5, these are the page numbers I'm talking about. But these page numbers, we call it as hash values. And these are generated by using a hash function. Using a hash function, we can generate it. So that is what he is representing here. Okay, so I will show it in the diagram so that it becomes clear for you people. Here it is. You can see here. Now CPU generates a logical address which consists of page number and displacement. That page number we are giving it to the hash function. Now this hash function will generate a hash value which will be acting as an index, and there we are going to store the information. That will consist of frame number. Okay, now this, as I told you, the elements present in this will be stored in a sequential order using a linked list, and every element, these are the elements. This is element 1. Okay, just I'll write a shortcut here. This is your element 1. This is your element 2. Now this element consists of, now it has three elements. The first one refers to the page number. Second refers to the frame number. Frame number means this will have frame numbers. I think you know. I have shown in the previous slides when we were discussing about paging. So here we have frame 0, 1, 2, 3. So this refers to frame number, and this is the pointer which refers to the address of the next element. Okay. So if you look at here, we got a page number P. We are giving it to the hash function. He is getting some value P now, assume it. Now within this particular table, we need to search it. Where this particular page. So the first page number what we got is Q. What we are searching for page number P. So this is not the element. So we'll refer to the next element. So using this particular address what we are giving here. So here we got the page 5. Yes, we got this particular page what we are searching for. What is the frame number given here? R. So that R we will be adding with this particular displacement. And finally, you people are going to get the physical address. Okay, this is the way it actually. See, basically, whatever we are discussing here, we are just trying to modify this hash table. I mean, this table. This is a page table. But since we are applying hashing concept here, we call it as a hash table. That's it. Remaining process is same, whatever we discussed in the segmentation and paging, but we have making small modifications based on which we can try to reduce the size of this particular table, because this table consists of lot of entries. Like in the previous slide, we seen 1 million entries. That's a very huge, and that will occupy some space, and we cannot accommodate that because we are limited in our space, isn't it? The memory, whatever we are using is limited, 4 GB, 8 GB RAM, not more than that. So if this particular table occupies most of the memory, then how can we can execute the processes perfectly? So in order to reduce that, we are using this technique. That's it, nothing else. I hope it's very clear with your hash space tables. Well, same. This can be good for your 32-bit, but if you go for 64-bit, we will face some problems here. So to overcome that, for 64-bit, we are using another technique called as clustered page table. Well, this is similar to your hash page table. Whatever the concept I have explained it, same way it works, but there exists only small difference here is that in this particular diagram, it will have a sparse address. Clustered page tables usually will have sparse address, but only difference here is if you talk about this particular table, now this entry, whatever the Q is there, it is referring to one page, one frame, isn't it? This page number Q refers to only one frame. But if you talk about the second one, this clustered page table, that will be representing multiple pages, not single one. Okay. Just a minute. ప్రియా లింక్ లేదు, అది నేను గీతాకి ఫార్వర్డ్ చేశాను. అది ఓపెన్ చేసి మీరు అది చూడండి, నాకు అక్కడ వ్యూస్ వస్తుంది చాలు. అయితే నీకు ఫార్వర్డ్ చేస్తాను, అంటే నేను రికార్డింగ్ చేస్తున్నాను నెక్స్ట్. సరే నేను ఫార్వర్డ్ చేస్తాను ఒక నిమిషం. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. So here, clustered page table, what we were discussing, the only difference, it is similar to the hash page table, but only difference is in hash page table, this particular hash value will refer only to one particular frame. But whereas coming to cluster, this particular value will refer to multiple. Okay, this particular value Q will refer to multiple frames. Like within this slot, we'll be having multiple frame numbers. So that way, what happens? We are trying to reduce the page table. So because only one number will be referring to multiple pages, it becomes easy for getting the frame numbers and performing calculation and storing the information. So this way, that is the only difference between clustered page table and hashed page table. And the last but not the least is inverted page table. Now here the main purpose for the inverted page table, what we have here is nothing but see, only difference. What you can see in inverted page tables, why we are using inverted page table is, see, every process, like we have discussed in the paging technique, that apart from one particular page table, whatever we are storing, the system is storing, every process will have this table. Okay, this is a table which is present in your memory. Means this is accessed by your operating system. Apart from that, every process which is executing will have this table. So what happens here? If there are 100 processes are there, apart from this one table, 100 additional tables will be there with respect to that 100 processes. Now what happens here? The memory is getting consumed, isn't it? It's very typical now. Since the memory is getting consumed, since the memory is getting consumed here, just a minute. Okay, since the memory is getting consumed here, to overcome that, what they exactly did, they try to this inverted page table try to overcome another problem. How? So here, what he said is, okay, whenever the CPU generates a logical address space, so what we know about logical address space, it will consist of a page number and displacement. But this time, what he's doing is he is trying to add additional one more column here. That column is what we call it as process ID. Means which process a particular page belongs to, that information also he is providing here. Okay. So here what is saying, sorry for the interruption here. So here what is saying, the CPU will be generating a logical address, but this time apart from the page number and displacement, it will have additional one more column, and that column refers to the process ID, means to which particular process that particular page belongs, that is what represented here. So in this way, what happened within the page table, earlier using a page number, you people will be getting means indexing. It means using as a page number as an index and trying to get the frame number. Okay, but there is a small difference here. In this scenario, the page number will know whatever the page number generated by the CPU, that we are not going to use. Okay, so here we are not using that particular page number. Rather, we people are using something called as I. What do you mean by I here? I think you might have understood till now. I is nothing but the frame number. Earlier table used to have frame number, frame. That frame is I. But now this I is used as an index here. And this page number is stored in this particular table. So whenever you people are generating this logical CPU address, that this PID, so what happens here, the system will try to search for this particular frame address. So using this frame, it will try to identify where this particular PID and P is located. From there, the value I will be allocated to it. So here, okay, let me explain with the help of a board so that it makes it clear for you people. So here what's happening exactly is, this is your page table, isn't it? Now CPU is generating a logical address. This will consist of PID, the page number and displacement. Okay, we know that displacement we will be requiring here, that will map. Earlier whatever we discussed is, this page table will consist of a frame here, isn't it? And this page number will act as index. Wherever this page is there, that index F we will be giving here, F plus C, that will give you a physical address. Physical address. But here, in this case, that is not the way. Here, in this case, we will not store frame number here. Yes, we are not going to store frame number here. Okay. What we are going to store here is, we are going to store the PID and the P value, the page number we are going to store. Then sir, how we can get this particular frame means, this F whatever we are displaying here, this will be acting as index here, like F1, F2, F3, so on. Now whenever the CPU generates this logical address, this will be compared with the page table. So where we have F1, F2, F3, we are going to compare that. So when we are comparing this, when we are comparing this particular thing, it will first search where exactly this is located. Okay, you got it. In F3, this particular PID and P is located. Now this will be transmitted to this particular 3. So this is F3 plus D. So that will give you the physical address in your RAM where we need to store. So this is something F3 plus D is something this. So here your information will be stored. That is the only difference. Earlier page number was acting as the index, but here the frame number will be acting as the index. That is the difference. In inverted, that's what he's calling it as inverted. We have inverted it. Rather than page number, we are using frame numbers. So using frame numbers, we try to determine where this particular page number is located in the table, and we are doing it. Now, since every process ID is means is located with the particular page, the number of entries will reduce. As the number of entries reduces, so automatically the page table size will get reduced. But there is a drawback. What is the drawback here? Since we are not searching with respect to your page index, so what happens here? We are searching with respect to your page frame. So the problem here is time consumption will be more. Time consumption will increase. But whereas coming to what we call space consumption will be low because the table size is getting reduced. So space consumption is less. But whereas coming to the time here, the time consumption will be more here. Okay. Why it is more? Because it has to search all the entries which are present in this particular table to determine where this particular page is there. Then that index will be used as a frame number. Whatever the frame number we have, that we are going to add it to the displacement, and then it will be transmitted. This is the way how it exactly works. And that is what been explained in this particular diagram too. Okay, if you look at here, I is the index. Now I is nothing but the frame. So somewhere here frame I will be there. That I we are using it as the index. And these two values we are storing in this particular table. Now from here, from wherever all the entries we are going to search one by one, wherever we got that I we will be sending here, that will add it to the displacement, and that will give you the physical address. That is the only difference that exists. That's why it is called as inverted page table. Well, these are all the page tables what we do have in this respective scenario. Okay, in the next section, we will start the second half of your third unit, that is your memory management. Thank you. Thank you for watching.